Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Welcome to another video of introduction to research methodology, and in the previous videos I've discussed introduction to research methodology, the basic concepts, and then the research process, right? And after that I'll be discussing about research problem, and I will discuss other steps and processes in detail as well, right? So we will go step by step in terms of this video so that you can build a connection between previous and upcoming videos, right? Go in sequence so that things get clear easily, and the concepts that you will get. So obviously this subject, research methodology, is a very technical subject, right? And your concepts are very important. Building the concepts in this subject, they are very important, and rather it's a more practical subject, right? And do not encourage cramming. So you just need to be very technical, right? And this is very important. You have to take this subject very important, because in your final semester you have to write thesis, right? So maybe you will be conducting your research for your postgraduate studies. So research is very important, so you have to pay heed to this subject. So we will discuss research problem, and I've discussed in research process as well about research problem. So what actually it is, so it's a question. Basically it's a question that researcher want to answer, or it is the problem that researcher want to solve, right? So identification, the first thing is to identify the problem. The motivation behind any research is to solve a problem, right? So first you have to identify that problem in the society around you, through your observation and experience. So you have to identify and formulate your research problem. And formulation of research problem we will discuss. And first let me tell you about the importance of research problem. Research problem is very important in your research, right? Because from the research problems you can draw your objectives, delimitation, variables, and things like that. So as I studied that, once you are done with formulation of research problem, half of your research is done, because it gives you direction for the further steps, right? And I'll also share my personal experience as well, that when I was assigned to write a synopsis, it took me 15 days to identify or formulate research problem. And after, once the research problem has been identified, it took me only 5 days to compose my synopsis. So identification of research problem is very tough indeed, right? Obviously all the things, major things, or discover in this contemporary world, right? The knowledge has been discovered, and there is less scope or less gap to be filled in terms of knowledge, right? So books have been written a lot, literature is available. So we will discuss. So identification and formulation of research problem is the first step of your research, and it depends on researcher knowledge, observation, skill, experience, interest, expertise, motivation, and creativity. And without a problem, research cannot be proceeded, because there is nothing to be proceed onward, right? As I've already told you, the importance of a research problem. So the motivation may be intrinsic or extrinsic, right? Intrinsic, internal motivation or self motivation, and extrinsic, some outer motivation, for example for the sake of your degree or things like that. And the problem lies in knowing what one is trying to do. So problem lies in what the researcher want to do, what you want to do. It, the aim, the purpose lies in your research problem. So identifying your research problem, you have to first go from a general topic to specific problem, right? So you have to choose for opt for general topic, right? So its general topic is a broad area which is expected to investigate, right? Let me give you an example. If you choose a topic, for example English literature, right? So it's a very broad area or topic. It comes various genres come in English literature: poetry, prose, right? So in literature you go for fiction, right? Again, in the fiction there are many genres of fiction as well: gothic, horror, and things like that. So you choose gothic and 19th century and you specific a specific writer. For example, in gothic fiction, Edgar Allan Poe is very prominent writer, so you choose the writer. And after choosing the writer, obviously you do not go for all of the works or the writings of Edgar Allan Poe. You choose a specific piece of literature by that writer. For example, you choose the gothic elements in the short story of Edgar Allan Poe, and the short story is as you have already read the short story of Edgar Allan Poe, that is The Cask of Amontillado, right? And his other stories include Men of the Crowd, or you can also opt for any story by Edgar Allan Poe, right? And further research problem, formulation of research problem. So a research problem is a situation or circumstance that require a solution to be described or predicted, and it is unsatisfactory. So problem formulation, three steps are involved in formulation of research problem. The first one is to identify, right? Problem identification through your observation. Second one is problem selection. Once you identify a particular problem, then you have to select it, right? Choose it, and then you have to define your problem. And this is criteria for problem selection. And what should be the qualities or the things you have to keep in mind while selecting a research problem, right? So the first thing is our due subject should not be chosen. Our due subject means that the subject or the area in which a lot of work has been done, or there is no scope or no gap left to be discovered. So do not choose that thing, or that topic or that subject. And second one is that problem neither too narrow nor too vague. The problem that you have chosen, it should not be too narrow, or should not be too broad or too narrow or too vague, right? It must be clear, right? And further, third one is there should be feasibility, right? Researchability. You have to seek for researchability and feasibility of research problem, whether it is feasible for the researcher to conduct or to work on that. It is easily accessible. You will ask questions like that. And fourth one is controversial subjects. Controversial subjects cannot be selected, right? Avoid selecting a subject right, which is controversial. Sensitive topics such as political, religious, or disputable topics. And fifth one is various factors, such as you have to look for in your search problem its importance, whether it is significant thing to be research about, or it is just a useless thing. And then you have to obviously researchability, whether it would be researchable or not, feasible or not, qualification, its significance, right? And training of researcher, and the sources you have, whether you have the relevant sources, or or the other things that are required to conduct that research. And further, sources of research problem. What are various sources of research problem? Where you get research problem? Obviously it is from daily life problems through, and which you observe through your observation and experience, right? And other sources include theories of one's own interest or practical experience, daily life problems, previous research, existing theories, technological changes, unexplored areas. Obviously you will be able to identify unexplored areas through literature review. So literature review is also a source of research problem, and literature review is very important in any research. So we will discuss literature review in detail. That is very important topic. And then discussion with the supervisors or discussion with the persons who have experience in that area, and so things like that, right? Selection of research area. Obviously literature review, as I have already told you, reviewing the literature and theories, delimiting research problem, evaluating research problem, and formulate the final statement of your research problem. Selection of research area, the same thing, right? Get an idea, conduct a study on the right. Literature review, we will discuss this topic in the next video. So thank you for watching.